Helps if you actually set the stream up correctly. Hi Merlin, how you doing? Oh, first redeem. Huh. First person to ever request that. How's it going? Morning, Rambling Geek. How's it going? Average stream bitrate too high. Okay. In the office, nice. Well, kind of nice. Well, okay, nice in so much as that suggests progress, which is good. More listening than watching. Well, I appreciate it regardless. Huh, so apparently 6,000 KB now is too high for Twitch. We'll have to lower things. Okay. So this is the main project, so this is not what we're going to be doing right today, because this is a all tests from... I think we can close that. Let's open some water, drink water. Let's close that. Let's exit that. I was making progress, so that's good. That's good. My apologies, I've been I got late to things today, so. Hi Shy, how you doing? Good day. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Mine went by way too fast. You're good right now. Well, that's good. Let's hope it stays that way, eh? Okay. So we've got a few things to do today. Last week at least. Things going better is always good. If it's not apparent, I still have not got rid of everything that I was suffering from the last 2 weeks. So my voice is still kind of crackly and I still want to cough quite a lot, but it is getting better every day. So here's hoping. Because I would like to be able to breathe properly again. Granny, hello. Okay, so we are going to go to GitHub. We're going to go to water, drink water. So, if you haven't been in here before for this project is a, I won't say beginner friendly, but I will say stream friendly, right? In so much as the project is aimed at being open to anyone who wants to tinker with it, anyone who wants to take the code and learn a little bit from it. It's not aimed at being a demonstration application. It's aimed at being a discussion application. So what I mean by that is, it's not perfect, right? There's no perfect example of how to build an application here. There is just code that is put together, discussed as we do it. So there's a lot of streams in the back that have come behind this, and the you're more than welcome to pull the code, do pull requests, as we're about to review here, look at any existing issues, pick them up, add in new UI on here if you want to learn how to add a UI on a .NET API, you're more than welcome to take the application and do that. So, yeah, they put the pause there. Yeah. So, yeah. My the camera, by the way, is not off deliberately. It's that if you don't start things up in the correct order, it doesn't start up properly. So I'm not messing around today. Thank you, bro. Hello. Good morning. Oh, good. Yeah, good morning for you too. So, I'm not Irad. Janicus, good morning. It's okay, camera's not a necessity. No, it's just, it is something that I do use, right? And I'm not being vain. I'm just, it does help, especially if I'm sat there thinking about things. It does at least help people see that I'm not just, that I've gone away. So, also does help the fact that hide the fact that I need a haircut very badly as well. So anyway, so today we're going to review PRs. I think, yeah. So we'll talk about the state. So Janicus has kindly made 2 different PRs here. One of them is the one I'm most interested in looking at first, is the to show the progress. Mr. Jones, hello, good day. And the other one is an option for tracking the state across the application. These are things that I've got to learn as well, because, you know, with Blazor, it is not my strong point, that is for certain. Okay, so well, so I assume that addresses that. So what we'll do is we'll review this one first. We'll check this out and run the code and see what happens. And then we'll move forward. Hey, Delta. I just changed 2 lines to limit what happens if the app passes it. Okay. So let's do this. How do I do this now? So I'm going to have to do... To test this, I have to do this PR. Does... View pull request, here we go. Okay. Okay, so we can view the PR inside of here. I'm also going to say hi to someone else. Good luck on the project. Shai, thank you very much for coming and hanging out for a bit. Appreciate it. So, Mackie, hello. How you doing? welcome in. So, are we drinking water? Actually, no. I probably should have water. So, not very good advertisement for a project called Water Drink Water that I don't have water with me. So we'll come back around on the test. So we've got a liquid gauge razor file. Well, it just pulls the entire commit like that. Okay. Doing good. Doing good. How are you? So the gauge goes into the actual layout so that we can see it on all the pages. We have a shadow. Okay, that's what the project's about. Okay, so this project is Water Drink Water is so I have two projects I work on. The first one, the main one that I work on, is a personal project that I do not share the code for, but I talk a lot about things like architecture, things like design and practices, etc. So this project was born out of a desire to try and help share some of those ideas and share all the code for. So this is a project with just a simple goal of being able to track your water consumption. So if I run the project, it should at least start. We'll see. Oh no, that's not going to start. Need app stack. That's because I changed the port as well, Junicus, on the on that one. So nice. So this is what we had last time we were working it, right? So the idea is that you can track your water consumption. You can set your target for the day. You set your time zones so everything tracks properly against it. And the idea will be that this will show your progress towards your goal that day. And the PR we're reviewing right now is Junicus has done something towards doing that. So it's a simple project with a simple goal. The first goal is track your own water. And then the extended goal is to be able to invite other people to kind of a group where you can track the water consumption there. Well, this is my current branch, so I don't doubt there's a problem. Well, again, there's a whole set of options there, right? So the idea is that we can talk about features, we can use the project. So the project is broken into a few parts. So there's an API, right? And a very simple and roughly constructed application stack. It's not overly complicated. It's not too advanced, but it does some things, right? I'm using endpoints because I'm used to using endpoints rather than controllers or minimal API. I could have probably made that simpler. But the entire goal is if you want to check out this project and add a new client to it, you can do that. If you want to check out this project and fix an issue in the back end, you can fix an issue in the back end. If you want to use this project and just kind of use it to talk about or ask questions about and have code demonstrated, we can do that as well. So the entire project is aimed at being whatever the stream wants it to be. So if you want to interact, you can do. If you don't want to interact, you can do. But, I don't suppose it's beginner friendly, but it is, if you are kind of getting into .NET and C# and stuff, you can do that. I've kind of created a Blazor WebAssembly demonstrator UI, but this doesn't mean that anyone can't come along and offer a React or a Vue or whatever application and use the same API. So that's the goal. And it was born from my daughter and I don't drink enough water and kind of, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have something where we could just track each other's water usage, water consumption, not usage, and kind of share that goal. So the idea would be that when I log in, I would see my consumption for the day, and I would see my daughter's progress towards her consumption. I wouldn't see how much she's drank. The idea is not to make it I can drink 300 fluid ounces of water in a day, sort of thing. But along the way, we've talked about things like time zone differences with tracking data. We've talked about tracking measurements and stuff like that. How would we do that? How those sorts of challenges. So these are things that come across in larger applications that you just don't kind of think about when you're building an application. So it's given us some good opportunities for discussion. So let's get back to GitHub, view pull requests. So this is Junius's PR. Huh. So I can actually do everything I want to do in here. Nice. So the application, the actual UI right now is Blazor WebAssembly. It's not my forte for sure. I'm with you. I'll follow. Yeah, I know that Blazor is a mixed bag, and I'll be honest. So the main application I work on is Angular. I'm not using Blazor for that, and I don't think I would. My experience with Blazor so far is not a good one. But the reason I did this is because I wanted to make sure that I at least represented something, and we can tinker and learn, and offer the chance for other people to do different UIs. So if you want to come in here and do an Angular version just to demonstrate the differences, you can do. The goal is not to say, hey, this is a superior UI framework or whatever. The goal is to say, hey, here's a different way you could implement it and how you would interact with the same API. So we're not using backend for front end or whatever it's referred to as, creating different APIs for different clients. We're creating one API, and each client would have to work against that. I'm looking forward to seeing these run. Okay, so what I'm trying to see is if there is a way of copy request URL. Can I check out? Blazor is fine. It's just not built for front enders. Working on the visuals alone is. Yeah, I mean, to me, it blurs the lines a little bit too much, so I feel uncomfortable with where I am. I mean, right now it's WebAssembly, right? So we've already learned a few things about that there, in terms of we had the drop down for the time zones. Well, the time zones it pulls are based upon the client, not on the server. So we actually had a disagreement in how it represented time zones because it was platform specific. So we learned something there. But yeah, there's a lot of. I'm not jumping on board the Blazor fan train anytime soon. But I mean, people do develop applications with Blazor, so it's not like it's impossible. It's just I think that the way you build the application, and my biggest concern is actually Microsoft's commitment to the platform, right? So they released the .NET 8 version and it has the different rendering things in there, and they were broken. Pull requests. Check how we go. Do I not have GitHub client on it? I do. Where does that go to, though? Does that switch my branch here? Hi, Monkey. How are you doing? So that's that. That's that. So no, there are no uncommitted changes. How do I actually? Because that's suggesting that. Oh, that's Rambling Geeks, though, not mine. Hold on. Does that let me actually check out? It does, yes. Okay, there we go. I'm listening, just reading about story points at the moment. Oh. Does that mean we've got some more fun discussion? I do well, thanks. How about you? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Okay, so this should be Junikus's PR. I'm learning it's tough to do. Well, I'm glad that Mackie didn't join and on a Wednesday. Okay, so this is the new one. So you didn't replace what was there. So if we log 24 ounces. So let's have a look at the database. So are there any migrations to run? I doubt it. Agile, bane of my existence, the ultimate meeting creator tool. Classic, it works on my PC. We'll get there. This is exactly why we do this, right? This is exactly why I do PRs on stream and don't do them off stream and then just make it look like magic, right? The idea is to show just because I've got a clue what I'm doing doesn't mean that I know everything I'm doing and things can go wrong. So it's kind of why we do this. So Mackie, for reference, sorry, I'm gonna have to pause in a minute and get water regardless. But my main project on the stream is this might be a quick way to lose a viewer. My main project is an agile project management platform because of that exact problem, though. Right? So I believe that agile should not be the developer's problems overall. Right? So I am trying to build a platform that is mainly based around the management, not around the developer. So that the developers get the requirements and can work on the work they need to work on without actually having a ton of stuff to deal with, right? So I hear the meeting thing. But the problem is overhead. That's a good word, Elaine. Good morning, by the way. The reality is it doesn't matter whether it's agile or whatever. People like to talk. So agile's just been kind of, I won't say abused, but it's been there's a specific word for this and I can't think of it. It's kind of a seconded. No, not necessarily seconded, but basically people think of agile, they think of all the meetings and all the process and all these reasons to talk about things. And I don't want to be, I think that we should get back out of the way of it, and focus on that, person aspect. Get into requirements and building requirements and get in there so that the developers can know what they're working on clearly and not have to get into long meetings where people just like talking. But yeah, that is my main project on the stream. That is a passion project. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah. So, I'm trying to build something that is basically a tool for management that shows them all the things they need to see without actually having to ask a developer, and allows work and workflows to be represented properly so that there is no question. But anyway, so that is the main project on this stream. But this is the please develop that tool faster. I'm working on it. Okay, so now I wonder why it looks that way when you run. Okay, so we don't have an error. So what should it look like? What did you replace this? Missing some CSS. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting the way it works there. Missing some CSS, check Discord. Oh. I'm not in streamer mode. That just dawned on me. Look how pretty it should look. You are right, that should look that way. Well, I haven't had this, so... Oh, there we go. Yeah. Well, I thought I'd done that, by the way. I didn't think I'd not done that. And also check. And also, by the way, I opened the network tab. And I do have that checked by default, so... So there you go. Okay, so this looks way better than this. And what you're able to do is 25 fully ounces, and then refresh. 57%. There we go. Okay. I live in the network and console tab. Yeah, client side is not my strength. Client side is definitely where I am not comfortable. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Let's have a look. So let's go to components, liquid gauge. How are you doing that's pretty... Does this just move up and gets clipped so it's the same line all the time? It's not like it's different wave. So we got an SVG. The 2 hours are dedicated to it. So that's the beauty of this project, right? If you want to go and tinker and do something cool and more advanced, you're more than welcome to do that, and we can review a PR. Whether we accept the PR or not is again, there is a disclaimer on the front page that says, you know, just because you commit something doesn't mean it will be pulled, but it will be reviewed on stream. So I don't want to get in a, yeah, this is fully open source. You can again, the goal is not that you go off and do everything, right? The goal is that if you want to contribute, if you want to tinker, if you want to fix any of the issues that we have, you're more than welcome to, but everything gets reviewed on stream, because it's a group, it's a stream project, right? So that's looking pretty cool. Yeah. So, again, the entire goal of this is to help people see what pull requests look like, help people see what making a pull request could look like, how to commit code, how to review code, you know, what steps we go through, etc. Yeah, that was really cool. Were you worried I wouldn't like it and I wouldn't want this replaced? That stuff is not highlighted enough, how to control teamwork. Uh-huh. Yeah, and again, it's not meant to be perfect. It's not, again, nothing here is meant to be here's how to develop an application. It's here's what working with others might look like, and give people the opportunity to take part in that if they want to. This project is not going to be a thing, you know, that, you know, if you want to take this project and run off and take the code and use it, go ahead. But the goal of this is not necessarily to be something that ends up with a finished project. It's more a reference application that we can talk about. We can look at code. Everything's accessible. I hear free code. If you want to take this code, there's some really stunning examples of how not to do things in here so far. So, okay. So I like this. I mean, I don't see any issues with it. Let's have a look at the PR. Let's review the PR again. If JetBrains tidy up their tooling a little bit, this could be really useful as a PR tool. Okay, so the only challenge is it's not allowing me to filter here. It's just allowing me to see that. Nice. Well, again, have fun. That's the. Okay, so this was my fault. Rambling Geek made this PR originally with this code in there. This is my fault because I had issues with the port. Yeah, a little bit more work. This tooling could be awesome if they do the same thing as this. This would be cool. So we've added the container gauge. We then put that container gauge inside of the VS and VS Code combo on 2 Portage Rider. I think JetBrains tooling is way more affordable compared to other options. Actually, it's probably better value to get all of to get the full JetBrains license. After 3 years, it's $170 a year for everything but their everything but their AI tools, which I have no interest in using. True, that is a better price. Oh, that's what I wanted to look at, the tests. So, tests. So we did have liquid gauge when rendered should show percentage. So you actually do render it with an expect. Nice. Should show 100. That is very cool. So we've actually got some visual, unit tests around the visual side here. Ryder doesn't know. Okay. What the runner on the tab does. Does it recognize that? Okay. Well, the runner. Ryder doesn't add the ones on the razor editor, but the runner actually knows when looking at the tab. Yeah, let's chart that down to there is also, is it this one? Oh, this is actually using BUnit. Okay. Nice. Okay. So it doesn't recognize it, but that's just a tooling thing. I can figure that out afterwards. Nice. Okay, well, I'll worry about that later. I trust that what I mean, we've seen the visuals. I'm not worried about that part. So that's really cool, though, that there are some unit tests there. That's something that we could definitely build on. Module initializer. The tests. Okay. Quite shout out to Eagle Hansen, the unit dev. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that concept. Okay, so let's check out that. Let's go to this PR, accept this PR, right? This is waiting on your review. Approve. I'm thinking, if you have enough bad PRs done on stream, could you create a summary video on the best of them? Funny fact, been a dev for almost 8 years, yet have to write my first unit test. Eh? I mean, I think unit testing is something that how do I put it? It's the thing that is dropped first on time constraint projects. When people don't understand how unit testing actually functions, yes. It's hard to use effectively. And I wouldn't say that I'm perfect at writing unit tests. I think I've got a lot of holes, and there are gaps in my unit tests for my main project because I've made that same decision where I've kind of decided that I'm going to move on and do something, primarily because I'm not sure about how something's going to work. And today I was writing some unit tests, and I kind of decided that I need to overhaul a bit, but I don't think it's necessarily bad to not have unit tests if you've never done them, because again, unless you've got people around you that have actually worked with them and built them effectively, writing bad unit tests is every bit as bad as not having unit tests, right? So I think it just takes practice to get into. And I do know that if you write a unit test and you see the benefit of it, you'll definitely love writing unit tests. But it's hard to explain how to use. It's hard to explain the benefits of, and it's hard to see the benefits of until you actually come up against a problem. So, yeah. And Merlin, I'm not ignoring your comment about bad PRs done on stream. Could you create a summary video of the best of them? Well, right now, this project, any PR is a good PR to review. We have kind of rejected some, but they've been useful for discussion, which has been good. I don't know how to write front-end unit tests. I only know of one person who's done it. I guess that stuff is experimental also. Front-side unit tests, from my experience so far, have been even harder because they're testing not just behavior. You're often working with the layout and the design. I probably like working on a team that used to only ever commit to master. Oh. Unit tests are a good practice, but they take a small amount of time, and time is money for big companies, so they don't bother. Right, but I feel that that's on the developers to make the argument for why you need. I don't care if it's a big company. The big company should realize the benefit in having better, stronger code. And unit tests will often, correctly written unit tests will back up your code and will prove the code out quicker than not having them. So, and probably and from my experience, you will write less code, if done correctly. But again, I think you need people who have done it and can demonstrate it and can go through it with developers. You can't just get developers and say, because we have the same problem right now, right? We're talking about adding unit tests to all code in work, and there's dozens of developers. Enjoy the coffee while laying. But the question is, how many of those developers actually know how to write effective unit tests? Because again, a bunch of developers writing unit tests because they're forced to is worse than having them not write unit tests in the first place, because they're going to feel more pressure to get the job done. The time investment for figuring out writing unit tests on the front end compared to the acceptance test is fairly high. Like, there are existing solutions that more than what? Yeah. So I think if you're in an existing organization that doesn't do unit testing, you're never going to see the benefits unless you can stop and create a project with unit tests to prove it out. And that takes someone who's willing to be a champion of that cause. And in larger organizations, that's a little harder to organize, right? Because your voice isn't as easily heard. I don't think it's impossible. Let's merge this one in. So we're going to merge that one in, and then we're going to check out my original one, and then we're going to pull, right? We're going to build, and then we'll do the replacement, and this will finish out this PR. So let's run it and make sure it works. So this project doesn't have many unit tests. There is a few. It's not something I want to focus on necessarily. I'm sorry, but it is something that, I wanted to at least demonstrate a few unit tests here and there. And again, it's one of those things where if you are interested in writing unit tests, you could come along and add unit tests to the project, just for the sake of writing them, right? Again, this project is aimed at being a useful tool for many things. Okay, so what we're going to do is main layout. Where do we put the original? Okay, so we want to get rid of that. We're going to put that there. Oh, it's 8:54. That means you got to start your work day, or you're late for work. Sorry. I wasn't laughing at that. I was laughing at the fact I was about to cough. 5 minutes. Okay. So I think that's all we need to do, because my original thing there was not very involved, right? So let's have a look at what it looks like. Oh, that was awesome. Oh, the story point article links even more articles. Clearly really difficult to do. Yeah, so the idea there is that if it's not loaded yet, it'll just wait. It won't show it in there. I'll literally post it in Discord to get the business guy to leave me alone. I mean, to get dev work. Yeah, that's the reason. Okay, so I mean, apart from maybe a little bit of padding we want to do, well, this doesn't do hot reload, does it? No. One day the tooling will be good. Oh, that's why we're doing it that way. We were running .NET Watch last time to make it work better. But that looks better anyway. Okay. Tom Ottinger wrote the article. He definitely knows his stuff. Huh. My reference on what? On story pointing? No, hot reload will never be perfect. I've never read anything on story pointing. It's just pure experience from my perspective. The only article I've read on story pointing is the one you linked to the other month. So everything you've heard from me has come from just my experience of story pointing. I'd love to, if you've got other articles, please share. I'd love to read more and understand more, especially with the way things are shaking out on the whole Agile platform. .NET Watch. Cool, thank you. I'll take a look. Test@.com or test@nowhere.com. Okay. Something reset there. Well, off to work, good meeting you, Mackie B. Hope you can stop by some more. Have a great day at work, Dota. Thank you very much, as always. And I'll take a look at the article later. Okay. Oh, there you go. So we've got some, like, I think, Junicus, as you identified, some state issues there. Okay. Ads are running. I don't think my message works for the ads thing. Messages, ads. No, it doesn't. I wonder why. I'm going to take a quick break, get something to drink. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Ads are about to end. Okay, so apart from some weird loading issue there, welcome back. If you're in ads, thank you very much for hanging out still. I appreciate you. So that's clearly working. So that first PR is done. So now, is this against? Okay, so this is against the same branch. Let's commit these changes. Replace original. You can just do that. As he is back on coffee. Yeah, I'm either gonna make some coffee later or order some, knowing me. And we'll worry about merge conflict. That's the beauty of what we're doing, right? We're trying to do this. So I pushed that then. So let's have a look back at the PR. This branch has merge conflicts. Ta-da! Not surprising. So if we resolve the conflicts, so obviously now this is here, and your branch wants it down there. So we should just be able to get away with that. Markers resolved. Commit merge. Really, this is just an idea. Another way to do it is with a service, and I think it's more likely to work. And there's a whole different set of ways you could do things, right? But that's why. Part of this is if people come along and know what they're doing, or they have an idea of how to do things, they can raise that and we can discuss it. And for me, the Blazor is not the Blazor app is obviously the visuals, so it's kind of the focus, but the actual application is the API. That's where most of my concern is. Okay, so let's do the same thing as we did before. Let's go over here and pull requests. Check out that. So then when we open this, now we should be in PR24. It's not the cleanest workflow ever, but it is workable. Update. So we got PR24. So now we run that. And .NET watch. Okay. So now we log. Assume. So the goal of this piece is state provider wrapped around everything. And then we have a we have a state that is passed around. All right, back for a bit again. Welcome back. Meetings. So we have a consumption context. And instead of, so our consumption so a state provider. What is even a fluid ounce? Is that measured in guns per eagle freedom points? So, obviously fluid ounces would be the measurement that I'd use here in the US. Right? We did kind of get into a conversation very early on about whether we were going to track a number and then a measurement. And we decided not to worry too much about it initially and go back and review that as an actual step later on, because obviously the first priority, getting it to track something. Now, as we grow the application, coming back around and saying, okay, well, hold on. Not every country in the world, or most countries in the world, aren't going to measure it using fluid ounces. They're going to measure milliliters, right? So we kind of debated the benefits of using measurement capturing a general amount, but then decided to make it fluid ounces, so it was very clear what we intended right now, right? Yeah, you can add a setting for that later on. So later on, it might be consumed units or whatever, right? And then the units might be a preference. But we can talk, but again, we can design that and talk about that later, right? Whether using fluid ounces or whatever. So right now, everything's based on fluid ounces, but the goal is very much meant to be, right? So 54%. Yeah. So the idea of this, I assume, Junikus, is that it's meant to be, when I add a log, it updates, but it's not notifying. Application or Blazor. So we have a state provider that injects a consumption context. Consumption context is whenever we set percentage changed, we invoke on state change. It's now broken is what it is. State change. So the idea is the consumption state provider subscribes to state as changed, and when state is changed, since you're already basing things on fluid ounces, may as well keep the DB in fluid ounces. Then when the new option to choose measurement system units in the UI, it just gets converted before displaying. So we did discuss that, right? But there comes a challenge there in that you've got to kind of convert to, like, if you look at, right. So 1 fluid ounce is 29.573 milliliters. So in terms of precision, if I say, okay, I'm going to store 30 fluid ounces, 30 milliliters, we'll do the US, it's 1.01. So converting back and forth comes with its own set of risks. So you have to then allow for precision. So it's a discussion that's to be had. We kind of deferred it. There is actually quite a long conversation we had on stream about it when we first looked at that, and I just decided to stick it with fluid ounces for now and move forward. But you do have an issue in that you've got to kind of decide, okay, well, what is my base measurement, and then what sort of conversions am I going to allow? Otherwise, you're going to lose. No need to convert. User chooses one of two, and then you just store it as a simple flow. Right, so that was the option, right? Store a value and then have a measurement unit so that the user sees the measurement unit they stored. Yeah. But if you do any conversion, you end up with precision issues. So, you can't just store it all in fluid ounces and then convert it back and forth, because you can, yeah. And if they change that, then yeah. Well, again, the point of the user group stuff is that the user groups never see each other's actual consumption, right? So if you and I are in a group, I see that you're at 54%. I don't see that you're at 38 fluid ounces or 380 milliliters, right? That's the point. The point is never to make it a game, just a goal towards the percentage for each day. Yeah. So but that's the kind of stuff that this app, as simple as it is, kind of highlights. Like, that's actually a choice that can change the way the application works and fundamentally works, right? So that's the sort of stuff that I want to do on this stream with this project, is because it's a really simple thing that actually, when you dig deeper into it, becomes quite a challenge to deal with. The time zones, when we talked about the time zone stuff, right? This got quite lengthy. We talked about this for more than a stream, just to be able to do this, right? Why do we need this? So, but that's the goal of this project, is to try and talk about this stuff and explore reasons why you might want to do these things. So, it was not a difficulty to store in UTC and convert the client. Yeah. Junica's being a perfectionist. Yeah, without a doubt, the best way to store the data is UTC. That is what's happening. And again, people who have different experiences, people who have different things they've done, as they come and look at this project, whether it be a newcomer or whether it be a more experienced person, your experiences will differ to mine, right? So the perspective you can offer, that's why this project exists, is because my main project is very much my baby, right? It's something that I'm building, that I'm not open sourcing. It's definitely something that I'm controlling. And as much as I'm happy to take kind of suggestions or comments every now and then, that's still my path. This project is one that we can interact more over. So, it benefits from having different perspectives and different experiences. Right? Because, I've been doing this for 25 years. It doesn't mean that I know everything. It doesn't mean that I've done everything, and especially with new technology, right? Playing with things like Blazor, playing with things like state, etc. Is this the right way? Is this the wrong way? I don't know overall. What I do know is that I can learn and I can grow. Yep. Yeah, my experience has been very much one of a certain path, right? I've seen certain things, I've done certain things, and some of those I've done because I've done them in the past. Some of them I've learned new ways, but it doesn't mean that we all agree and we all see the same thing. So again, working with others, as difficult as it can be at times, learning to accept others' perspectives is a key skill set as a software developer. Okay, so I get what this is doing. So we're wrapping this cascading value wraps around, so everything else is in the child content, so that when we do the app, we wrap the state provider around everything. Context. We have our context. This is we set the percentage. Yep. And that surprises people especially when you've been doing software development for so long. People assume that you just kind of know everything, and you don't have like the ability to grow. So I get what this is meant to be doing. Sorry. How often you failed and stand up again would be a good measurement of experience. Or who's tracking that? If you're not for a lifelong learning path, software dev is not your trade to start. Well, again, there are people that consider this a job and people who consider this a profession. And no criticism about the people who feel that it's a job. People can write code and go home at the end of the day and never touch a line of code again, right? But I doubt those are the sorts of people that are going to be in this stream or any of our streams. I consider it as a handcrafting art, like crochet. Sorry. This cough does not want to leave me. Like writing a book and painting, because we put it in both at once. I do consider what we do artistic for certain. There's definitely art in well-written, well-designed code. And crafting that output, right? Like doing something like that is very rewarding. And the fact that Judicus is like, that line, right? It's because you care about what you're doing, right? It often shows through. I do think that software development should be more about apprenticeship than it is schooling. I'm wondering if I missed a commit for this part. I worked on it in 3 computers, so maybe I missed something. I just thought about it, but didn't add it. as well. Like front end, I love seeing the website or app grow and become beautiful. See, my problem is that I need help with the front end. The UI design is not my forte. And when it starts to feel clunky, I start to get discouraged. What happens when you change processes? I thought added to that component too. I love twiddles and pixels. Yeah, nothing's really changing. It's not triggering that change. So same about UI. I've been spending a lot of time trying to gain more UI design skills. I could definitely implement designs, but coming up with the design myself, not easy. Yeah. And that's actually one of the things that's frustrating me about my main project right now. I'm starting to put pieces together and I don't like the way it looks, but I don't have the patience to spend playing around. I want to get to a result. I want to get to code. But designing that UI, designing the good UI is incredibly difficult. Okay, so we're gonna start this up with the tooling and see if it changes any behavior there. Maybe we can debug something as well. Because it's funny, when it runs this way, it runs smaller. Oh, come on. Definitely have the patience for it, but it just seems that I don't have the aesthetic. Yeah. What? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to... Hold on, where's the database? Oh, that's the database, sorry. We're going to delete the database. We're going to run it up. First, I don't care if back-end, front-end, microcontroller, everything is a puzzle that has to be solved in the most elegant way possible, like forming a complex claim to a beautiful masterpiece of art. Why are you not working? Oh, because I didn't run the migration. I'm an idiot. Update database. Need the database there. All right, I need to go. Thanks for the stream. I'll be more in the future. Mikey, thank you very much for hanging out. Thank you very much for the conversation. It's been fun. Have a great rest of your day. But by the way, pretty much everyone, I think, Judicus, you are the only non-streamer in this group. So anyone who's been talking, like, I want to do my developer stream thing again, because shouting out one doesn't seem fair. I really want to get developers.stream up and running again, so I can add people and call them out appropriately. Yeah, Kenny, Mikey, Berlin, One Lion, all streamers. Come on. Start up. Nope, it just ended. How did it end? Blazor debug proxy error, unable to connect proxy. Is this because I've still got it running there? That's why. It's because I'm an idiot. Why are you shutting down? Don't get that. This is driving me nuts. I'm shutting down a lot because the coffee hasn't kicked in. Interesting. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's see if this starts up now. Okay. Now, let's go to our API. And let's run that. So then we should have test@nowhere.com. There we go. Okay, preferences. Let's set that to 300. Let's set that to -5. Okay. Absolutely welcome to bring any UI opinions you have to my stream. Happy to take any input and constructive criticism. Like I've been trying to use mobbing. Don't log into this. I thought I logged into this. No, apparently not. There you go. I've been trying to use this a lot more to try and get an idea of application flows and how I might design things. But I find that right now, I think I need to focus on the features, get the features in, and then kind of come back and do a pass of, okay, what do I actually want things to look like in terms of styling? Because if I spend, I think I've still got to figure out some of these things. Like, what do I actually want the actual application to behave like? How do I want things to flow? How do I want things to actually, what data do I need to collect? Because I've started to realize today that maybe I'm slightly off on certain things. So, you know, there's always those sorts of things. Okay, so if we do 5, no, actually, let's do 10. No, let's do 10%. Okay, so nothing changes. Actually, I need to read Canny's comment. Sorry, Canny. fixed another bug that bothered me a lot. There was times where a raid, a follow, etc. hanging over my overlay regards to load new images. Found out my HTTP client manager that opens and closes the connection clients automatically was slightly broken. Ah. That's a good find. Good fix. Because I did leave the percent in the nav page, so the other control you had there would still work, but the control now is from the merge complex. Oh, you're right. I merged it in, and I get what you mean. Yeah. It's not using the same. So you want consumption state dot context dot percentage. Really? No, I'm just bubbling around because I need to tell someone. You can also skip over the long. No, it's. I know as you're reading them. I like to share in victories as well as I'm interested in why it wants them, because there it's. So the problem is that is not nullable anymore, right? So it's always default to 0. So that's why it's saying. So what that does is just gives me out a variable that represents this name. Okay, I'll stop all. Roll again. There you go. You can also figure out the nullable and why Ryder said it could be. Well, the nullable is because the call might not have been made initially. That's what it was for, right? So the nullable was meant to be you've kind of fixed that problem because you said you're now controlling this percentage through the UI. The get consumption percentage, the original had not that one. Where is it? Pages. Yeah, you kind of removed that needed now. So the original did have nullable because it might not be set yet. So now by using the context, you've got a default value. So that's okay. So that's just now a way of making it a more readable value, I suppose. So if we change that to 320, that doesn't update. Okay. Okay, so we have some. So when we load the application up, if it's authenticated. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't change that. It's probably 3 AM when I was working in it, so after the riveting update, yeah. So let's do this. Let's stop this. I think no matter what, this is a good change. So I have no issue with taking the PR. Let's do... Oh, we need that part. Let's roll back that change. Let's go and check out this. Let's go and accept that PR. Okay. Because I do like the idea that we've got this state provider for the percentage. The app now knows about it. We can worry about tidying that up, right? By tidying up, I mean, just figuring out the events that cause it to change. So let's approve that PR, because I think it is a good positive step. You comfortable with merging this? So there's a few things, like obviously when we change the actual the goal, the percentage needs to adjust. When the app loads, it doesn't seem to load in with the right percentage, but then the first time you update it, it does. So there's a need to get it there. I kind of like the way the state functions there, because it's there, right? It's a I think it's definitely something that I'd like to do more on. Yeah. Again, the goal of the project is not necessarily to be perfect; is to get it functional, so that people can kind of say, "Oh, well, you're doing that wrong. You can do it this way," or "Hey, what about doing it this way?" So I'm good with accepting this now, because it does make sense to me in terms of it's this state that wraps around everything. We can put stuff in it. We can update it. We can trigger it. Right. So yeah, I'm really comfortable with doing it. Makes perfect sense to me right now. So let's merge this. Do I have? I don't have anything outstanding on this one, so let's merge the PR. And then let's update the PR. Okay. And then we need to go back to nav menu. Put that part back in. Because the service will allow us more control to when controls are rendered based on specific changes. Right now, all controls that use a parameter in this will re-render. Which I'm not. Again, the benefit of doing this application the way we're doing it is we can review it. We can talk about it. We can share challenges. We can share successes, etc. So yeah, we'll go with them. We'll deal with that. We can always come back around and change things. And again, if someone has a better idea or a different idea, they can build their own version, or they can do whatever they want and demonstrate the differences. which again helps everyone learn. So I have no challenges doing this. Okay, so let's by the end of this stream, let's see if we can get this branch merged, and then everyone's got a good point to go forward with. Okay, so obviously we need to, when we load into the application, we're not making that call. So that's step one. So the state provider so we kind of need to do this. Sorry. I can't, it's harder to reach the mute. There we go. So we got an initial load. Yeah. I'm trying not to cough and it's just getting me every time. Okay, so we have the initial load. Yeah, so preferences. So the way we do that is consumption state provider. So we have cascading parameter, right? Gotta get used to this. So consumption state comes because the app playout provides the cascading value. And well, is it the context we add in? Or the state provider? Is it the context of the state provider that is the right? Yeah, okay. Okay, so the challenge here is save preferences and then realistically, I want to trigger this to happen, no. So do we have a public async task update? It's not consumption goal. Target was changed. That's a horrible name. But essentially, we need to do that. Because that would be... Let's... Might not be perfect, but let's see. So now if I go here and change that to 400, it does it. Pop up huge round. So I mean that's functional. It's definitely doing what we want it to do. So when we log into the application, it loads. I wouldn't mind seeing an overachiever amount. There you go, one line. We've got some future goals. Oh, I hate that it takes you out of the... Yeah, change the control to something that makes you clear over the goal. I think like daily achievement badges or progress badges, etc., would be good. As like a stretch for like things we can add. Okay. So display daily progress. So I think again, you've kind of addressed some of this. We could move things around a little bit. And again, the goal here is not necessarily to get the Blazor app working perfectly, is to push forward the API, right? So we've got visuals for everything. So but I think that that's not a nice method name. That's kind of a horrid method name. Because it sounds eventy. So it sounds like it's a notification, but then it has a side effect. So it's a really bad name. Update percentage based on So, just for the sake of discussion, that's a bad name because this does not matter to this at all, right? Based on goal changes, I have no need to know why I'm being told to update my percentage. I'm just being told to update the percentage, right? So, but again, then another thing is controlling that I'm updating my percentage, right? How much of this are you intending to be, I don't know what phrase to use, creative versus borrowed from existing solutions, e.g. using something like Samsung Health as inspiration? Right now it's all just kind of being made up on the fly, right? So if it's actually using existing terminology, it's just from having picked up things along the way, right? I don't actually look at many health apps right now. So if it's borrowing design or borrowing naming from other things, then it's purely coincidental rather than deliberate. So that's a better name, because I'm just saying, hey, refresh your context, whatever you care about, right? If I put update percentage or whatever in there, then I'm saying that this needs, all I'm saying is I know that there's going to be knock-on effects once I change preferences, therefore refresh the context, and whatever you need to do, you do, right? Whereas if I say update your percentage or update based upon this, then not only am I sharing the intent or I'm sharing the behavior beyond the context, and yeah. Own it 3 times, so yeah. A new question. Do you mind if I work on another flow of screens in the UI? Maybe come up with a small Figma thing. I want to practice Figma. No, absolutely. Have fun. See, if this is helping you be creative and helping you do stuff, that's awesome. Okay, so let's load that once more, make sure. There's not an issue about the well, there's a lot of problems, right? It's not perfect, that's for certain. So when we load in, we get the percentage. We have the preferences. We can change that. 800 fluid ounces. We can go in here. We can add another 10. It becomes 63. So that's loading. That looks awesome. Ooh. What if that changed color based on... no. So healthy consumption of water, right? If this is 63% and it's 9 o'clock in the morning, that's not healthy consumption. That's drinking like crazy, right? So that might be something I'd like to consider in the future. But again, the thing you're going to be careful of there is becoming putting too much focus on this is truly healthy, right? This is a fun application. This is not meant to be. And at some point, I assume that if I put this further out, that there's a disclaimer there that this is not intended to be a true health application. This is intended to be a demonstration of software development. So don't go taking it like it's a 100% real advice. But yeah, so things are working, things are coming together. This looks really cool. I love this. Thank you very much for doing this. So I think we've got some things working there. So consumption state in the menu. The preferences now calls refresh context. We have a refresh context method, and we refactored this because we're calling it now in 3 different places. And yeah. More than welcome to tinker. Okay, so update UI with date okay. It's just changing position developments. Again, anyone who's watching, anyone who's interested, ads are running right now, is more than welcome to tinker and play. Okay, so that's pushed. So let's go back here. So being that you have been involved in this, I'm going to add you as a reviewer of this. So rather than just accept the PR, if you get the chance, if you do get the chance today to check it all out again, make sure it works for you. Make sure there's no significant issues. Let's use that as a chance to review. I'm going to finish up here anyway. So rather than just rush that through, I think it's worth having that review on it. And yeah, I think that's that would be the plan. Yeah. So now I'm at least healthier. Getting there. Yeah, my Monday, Tuesdays will resume as drink water. So, and no rush. Again, no rush. But But then we can talk about what we do next, what we tinker with next, and maybe we start adding friends in and stuff like that, so we can start working on the API side of things. Maybe we talk about organization of the project, like how to lay out, good first issues, etc. And again, if anybody's in the stream and is watching, please feel free to share thoughts, opinions, questions, etc. That's always true. So, yeah, that's moving along. It's funny, today's stream balanced out differently. The early part of the stream was the busy part, and then towards the end, the numbers dropped off. Because again, I'm kind of keeping an eye on what people are interested in from the stream perspective. And this definitely seems like still here listening. Appreciate that, Rambling Geek. Thank you very much. I hope being back in the office is being productive for you today. Okay, Twitch, thank you. I need to see the menu. Somewhat. Sorry. Okay, so there's just a few of us. Let's raid over to Foolbox. Although Foolbox is doing admin stuff, it looks like. But he's only just starting. So yeah, let's raid over to Foolbox. We'll go over there. He's looking at getting his projects set up for Steam, etc. So his game's very cool. I would recommend checking it out if you haven't yet, if you like puzzle games. I will be back tomorrow. As always, if you have any questions, thoughts, opinions on this, you're welcome to drop them in the Discord as well. And yeah. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will be back tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, all. Bye.